Yeah, that's what I've been talking about right here. No doubt.
Future solutions, fencing outdoors. Clip of the day, man. I'm Dave Gato. I'm your host from the East Coast, man. Burn your wrist and toes. Let's
everybody, welcome back. This is episode number 21 of the Future Solutions Fencing Outdoor Clip of the Day podcast. My name's Dave Gatto, and I'm your host. Hey guys, I got a really good episode in store for you today. Something that can help you grow your company exponentially. I know it has for us, so I want to pass that information on to you, and hopefully you utilize it if you're not already, to grow your company. What I want to talk about, guys, I want to talk about a CRM. What is it? How do we use it? And how do we use it to grow our company? First off, I'm going to say a CRM stands for Customer Relations Management Software. That's what it is. It's to manage the relationship between you and a customer. Okay, so when I was first starting out in business, I didn't have an office. I didn't have a warehouse. All I had was a truck and a day planner. And in my day planner, I would write my appointments down. I would store their information in there. I was going out to customers' houses with 3-parted carbon copy proposals, getting signatures, and then trying to manage all these jobs through a notebook. Well, here's what started to happen, guys. As I perfected my sales process and started making more and more sales, I started losing track of customers and where they were in the process. So I started losing people. People started giving me bad reviews. People were like, hey, listen, we can't deal with a company like this. This is unprofessional. How did you forget that we gave you a deposit? Or how did you forget to call in a PA1 call? All these different things started happening. So I never even heard of CRM. So my bright idea was to put all this stuff on a whiteboard so I could see it. And I decided on my whiteboard of the different processes that happened in my business that needed to be up there. So what I did was I took permanent marker, and I know some of you guys are doing this out there still. And it's okay because I did it too. It was part of the process. So I took permanent marker and I drew lines segmenting off the board, and then I would write in my columns with a dry erase marker so I could erase it and I can use it again and the lines wouldn't go off of the whiteboard, the permanent marker. So I really sat down and thought of my workflow. Okay, so I got a customer name, right? I got an address. I got whether they signed their proposal. I got was there a PA1 call in there because we need to know that the call was the dig was called in so we don't strike no power lines. Then I needed to know if the material was ordered and if they were scheduled for and when. So I had all these things and I would check these boxes to remind myself that I had done these steps, that this person was ready for an install. The PA1 call was good and it's good for this time frame. They made their deposit. We got the signed contract and we closed it out. Okay, and we would erase this. Now, one whiteboard turned into 2, 2 into 3, 3 into 4, 4 into 5, and my wife was not happy because we had whiteboards screwed to our wall in our living room. So people would come in our house and see these things. And guys, my handwriting is horrible. These things were mangled. The lines weren't even straight. They were like squiggly lines, and it looked like a 5th grader or a 4th. Well, actually, a 5th grader would probably do better. It looked like a kindergartner was writing this stuff. But to me, I loved it. It was like a badge of honor. Every time I came in and had to purchase a new whiteboard, I'm like, man, I'm growing my company. Here's another one. And eventually I ran out of space, right? So one day I was introduced to a CRM, and I looked at a CRM, and wham, there was that board already on there. And not everything was exactly the same on it, but it was close because in a lot of business, our workflow is the same. Like we get a lead, we qualify the customer, we go out, we do an estimate. If we don't sell them on the spot, we're waiting on a decision. If they buy, there's a signed contract. Then we need a deposit. And then there are certain things that need to happen. You might need to get insurance paperwork filled out. You might need a claim number. You might need to get a zoning permit. There might need to be an HOA approval. And then you go out, the job's scheduled, the materials are acquired, there's a contractor assigned, the job's done, and they're followed up with the customer for a review, and they are stored in our CRM. So here is this thing where we can move these people through this board. So that's how you set it up, right? You figure out what's your job flow. Like that's our job flow. that I described for a fence installation. And we have a different flow for our commercial department, which is a different type of sale. It's a business to business sale. Completely different animal right there. I mean, on a sales level, guys, there is no comparing it. You're going from dealing with a customer who wants to use your company, who's looking for a fence already, right? They know who you are. As long as you're in your budget and your salesman's good, you're going to close it. Now, if you're going business to business, these guys, business owners like myself and some of you guys out there, know that you are bombarded by sales calls all day long. So you're really quick to hang up the phone. You want people to get to the point. You know when somebody has a rehearsed sales spiel. So anyways, I don't want to get off topic. Different kind of animal. And we have different flows for each one. So guys, in those flows now, we set up automations, right? So we don't forget nothing. So if a salesman goes out, if a salesman is assigned to a lead that comes in, they have a task that immediately pops up and tells them to qualify it. And they got to move that customer to qualified to let them know that, hey, this is a qualified lead. This isn't a tire kicker. They're not going to waste our time out there. These people got money. They know what kind of fence. They have a time frame. And both qualifying purchasers are going to be there, the husband and the wife. So they got to qualify. So once they go out there, they do the estimate. And if they do not sell, if they sell it on the spot, they move it to sold. And that tells the office what to do next. Fill out the permit paperwork, get a deposit, send them a welcoming letter, send the DocuSign documents. All these tasks are created. And then there's automations set up in there besides the task automations. There's automations that if a customer goes into a waiting decision, if they didn't buy it on the spot, we have automations set up in there for an automatic email to be sent out at 2 days, at 7 days, at 14 days. Whatever yours might be, I'm not sure, but normally we stop at 14 days. And it's a basic email that says, hey, thanks for having me out. Really appreciate your time. Thanks for considering us. If you have any questions or if you want to move ahead in a proposal, here's how you do it. Here's my phone number. And we score a lot of jobs just off those automations, right? Because I don't know how important you think you are or where your ego is, but when you walk out of that door, people forget who you are. They forget who you are. They got 5 different estimates in. They've been talking to their cousin, their in-laws, talking about installing the fence themselves. They're all over the place. They might be signing paperwork for a house. They might be getting inspections. They might be dealing with stuff at the closing table. They got businesses. They got kids. They got dogs. They got problems. They got groceries to shop for, laundry to do. They forgot who you are. So you need to reach back out in front of them and stay in front of a customer. Okay? So these automations allow us. Then the salesmen see, hey, it's day 14, nothing happened. This job didn't get moved to moving ahead. So now I know to call them up and whittle them to the bone until they tell me no. We already went with somebody else, or we decided not to go with the fence, or find out what their sticking point is. What's holding you back? Is it money? We have financing. Is it you want to come and see it, check our showroom out? Is there something holding you back that we can help you with? If the answer is no, then we kick them out of the thing. It's a dead lead, right? But we know these things. And so when it goes past the 14-day mark, my sales guys are sent tasks, and they follow up in 3 different forms. They follow up with an email. They follow up with a phone call. They follow up with a text. Okay? They use all 3 forms of communication right there to make sure that they're hitting the customer. Right? Because some people don't check their emails. Some people don't answer their phone. I know I don't have the time. If I don't know the number, I'm sick of getting bombarded by spam. I get 50% of my calls are spam calls. The recorded message that you get, please don't hang up. That means hang up. Please do not hang. What? Yeah, okay. My car. Okay, I'm good. So we make sure that we hit all 3 forms of communication and we get a response out of them. Right. So here's another thing, guys, too. The CRM retains all the customers' information, right? So we know who's calling. When they call in, we know who they are. We click on them. We can see everything about that customer. When we were out there, pictures, notes. Was this a cash paying customer? Is there a neighbor dispute going on? Is this an insurance claim? What's the claim number? We have everything right in front of us. So we're on point, and they call, and they know we're on point. There ain't nothing worse, guys, than a customer calling and you not knowing who they are or what they're talking about, because then guess what? They don't feel that important anymore. They felt like you just took their money and that's the end of it. You don't care about what happens here on out. Here's the customer experience. We already got your money. Sorry that you picked our company. No, they know, hey, this guy's on point. They remember, hey, they're out here in the 5th. They took pictures. They know I'm in a property dispute. They know this is a damage claim. They know I got real tiny dogs and I need puppy space pickets, whatever the case might be. But another good reason to retain all that is because every single customer that you get is a gold mine. Okay? It's like going out there and tapping an oil mine out there and just pumping 50 gallons out of it and bouncing. No, I want to pump the whole thing out. It could be a potential gold mine. We want these guys to provide referrals, and who knows? They might buy other houses. So, we've been in this for a while now, so we've had customers buy 3, 4, or 5 different houses and use us every time and buy commercial properties and use us for the commercial property. So every single customer is a gold mine. And you might think of doing a bolt-on in your business, something that is a spin-off in your industry, an additional service you might provide. Maybe it's a maintenance service for your fences. Maybe it's a staining service for your decks. Maybe you're in the fencing industry like me and you want to start doing decks, or you want to start doing railings, and you want to start doing pergolas and things like that. These are people who have already bought off of you, that are happy with you, hopefully, and that they're comfortable with using you. And so you come back around on the CRM. We have thousands of customers, so we can generate an email and say, hey, I want to thank you for being one of our valued and long-time customers. We just wanted to let you know, maybe you have some interest in this, but we are now doing decks, or we are staining fences, or we are staining decks, or we are doing railing. And you can send an email blast out to all those. And then we could further automate to text message them, to send them texts, send them questions and ask what's their best form of communication when you're qualifying these people. Is it phone, is it text, is it email? This way we know who to send it out to, guys. So that's what's really important to us, guys. We're using the CRM. It has optimized everything. I mean, we have all of our vendor contacts in there. We have all of our customers since the very first day that we did business. They are all in there. If we ever decide to do a bolt-on or an add-on, we can spin back around and hit all those guys. So, guys, another really important thing about the CRM is that it is audited. There is an audit trail. That means there is accountability. That means I can go on there and see if my team members are actually doing what they're supposed to do. I mean, it is audited down to the keystroke. I know when they logged on, when they logged off, where were they when they logged on, what did they type, what happened, what type of follow-up action actually happened on there, and I can go through the CRM. If I got a customer saying, hey, they never called me back and I'm canceling my contract because your communication sucks, I could go back into my CRM and see if my salesman actually called them back up. Then I could confront them about it and say, hey, are you struggling with something? Do you need help with something? Is this too much for you to keep up with? Do you need an assistant? And work past it, guys. So that's really, really important. The CRM will save you a lot of trouble. You might have a customer who's maybe they've done this to 10 other contractors, where they call you up and they say, hey, this happened, that happened, you said this, you said that didn't happen, I want a discount, I want my money back. And you could just go on the CRM and say, hey, let me check the record. Actually, it says right here, we had a phone conversation on 4/16. We talked at 3 o'clock p.m. We talked for 23 minutes, and here's what we discussed. Once you put that in front of them, they know they're hit. The lion stops. They're like, okay, these guys are keeping record. They're on point. I just can't run my show like I normally do with all these other contractors. Not saying that does happen, but let me tell you something. And you're in this long enough, you will experience that happen. So, guys, that's all I got. I just want to throw it out there, guys. I've used many different CRMs. I've used Method CRM. I've used Jobber. I've used Job Nimbus. I'm not recommending any specific one. They're all good CRMs, guys, but the thing is, they take a lot of work to set up, but it is so worth it. Or you might be daunted with having to export ones from another one to switch to another CRM. Get it done. Get it implemented in your business right now. That's all I got, guys. I'm only asking one thing. If you got something out of this episode, if you liked it, please share it. Tell somebody about it. Like it. And if you're not subscribed, if you want to hear more episodes, guys, on how to grow your business, the tips and the tricks, subscribe to this episode, guys. Subscribe to this channel so I can get this stuff out to you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I've been talking about right here. No doubt.
Future Solutions, fencing outdoors. Clip of the day, man. I'm Dave Got. I'm your host from the East Coast, man. Burn your toast. Let's go.